On this episode of the Big Red Kitchen Show,
we have former Husker shortstop Darin Petersen with his delicious poppy seed chicken.
We're going to be talking about the kitchen shears and why it's the most useful tool in your kitchen toolbox.
And of course, we've got our drink of the week from John over at Salt Restaurant. This week it's the North Star.
So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
The Big Red Kitchen Show is brought to you by Salt Restaurant, Wren's Display, the Pampered Chef products provided by Teresa Brown, Sea of Red Wine, DeFord Family Dental, Dr. Kathy DeFord, Rotella's Bakery, Just Good Meats, Quality Mark Home Repair and Remodeling, Waddell and Reed Financial Advisors, eSpark Media, D. Tendenza Food Styling and Photography.
Hi, I'm Sherry Potter, and I'm the host of the Big Red Kitchen Show. But a lot of times you'll find me in my studio kitchen cooking up a new dish. I love to do food photography, and I also am a food stylist. And today's dish was beautiful. It was wonderful, and it was very, very tasty, and I can't wait for you to hear more about it. But before we do that, I want to introduce you to my co-host, Angela.
Hello, I'm Angela Waltman with Big Red Recipes, and we're really excited for the show today because, as you might notice on the set, we finally have a copy of our Big Red Recipes Baseball Edition, which is awesome because we do have a baseball guest today. But just to rewind a little bit, Big Red Recipes is a series of cookbooks featuring former Husker athletes. We had our football edition that came out in August of 2015, had a lot of guests from that book on the show, so that was wonderful. And now we have our baseball edition, which just came out in May. So excited to have those guests, and then we have football 2 coming out this summer, and we've already had a couple of the guys from the upcoming football 2 book as guests as well. So nice rounded squad of guys that we've had on the show. Absolutely, absolutely.
Yes.
But today we're really excited to talk to Darin Petersen, who was a shortstop for our Huskers from 92 to 95, and I'm just really excited to talk to him and to find out more about his poppy seed chicken.
I know.
Should we bring him on?
Yes, we should.
All right, Darin, come on.
Yes,
Come on down.
Well,
It's
nice
like the
to see
price
you.
is right.
Yes,
You're not going to
thank
win
you.
any money.
Well, that's
Sorry.
good. Nice to see you.
Welcome
Yes.
to our Big Red Kitchen Show.
It's excellent.
in the
happy
Big
to be
Red
here.
Kitchen.
That's good. I got the big red apron, so I'm ready to roll, I
Exactly.
think.
How do you feel about being the first guest on the show with the corresponding baseball book?
Well, that's good. You know, it's when you're an athlete at Nebraska and you play baseball, you do get used to being kind of second after football. So, but I'm happy to be here today.
Isn't that nice?
And I'm happy to be here. So.
Absolutely. Well, you mentioned, the baseball players up against not up against the football players, but there's got to be a disparity there with this being, Husker Nation that really mostly gets behind the football team. Tell us what it was like playing. How'd you get along with the football guys?
Yeah.
Tell us some good stories.
Well, yeah, good stories.
Our guests want to hear those kinds of stories.
No, that's
they,
okay.
They really enjoy the good stories.
I played in the early '90s, and so that was a very special time for Husker football, Husker baseball. We had a good time. It's nothing like it is now. We used to play at a Buck Belzer stadium, which is now essentially a turf facility where the football team plays. But no, there was always lots of interaction between athletes of all sports, and obviously football kind of drives the majority of athletics, but and we're appreciative of that. But we also had good camaraderie among teammates in all sports. So.
That's good. Yeah. Who was your favorite football player who played at the same time as you did? Were you buddies with someone, or did you just really admire the way one of them paid attention to people, or athletics, or had a good character?
Yeah. We didn't have a lot. I wouldn't have a lot of close friends. I was actually in a fraternity, and so I spent a lot of my fall with my fraternity brothers, and then a lot of the spring with baseball guys. And so we had some fraternity brothers. There was a pair of twin Schmadeke brothers out of Albion that were walk-ins. So they were my buddies, and so I'll probably stick with the guys. And you got to appreciate the guys that walk on and have all that effort and just really, bleed that Husker red. So it was a good time.
Well, I have a question.
Oh, go for it.
I want to know who his favorite baseball hero is, because guys who grow up to play baseball usually have heroes, and most of us don't even know who those heroes are because they're not always as well sung as those on the football teams.
No, it's a great question. I mean, one, growing up in Nebraska, there's not a professional team around here, so you are a little bit, it isn't like there's a lot of teams to choose from. But I was always a big fan of Cal Ripken, who was a shortstop, and just his consistency to play every day and what he stood for. And he actually runs a youth program for youth baseball now, and so I was a big fan of his. You know, now it's pretty cool that we get people like Alex Gordon and some Jabas that have played professional, and our kids get to look up to them. So I'm thankful for that.
Right, and I think baseball has kind of come up in the ranks too. We're hearing much more about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cal Ripken, wonderful autobiography.
Yes, it
I
is
read
very
that
good.
when I was in college. It's just a wonderful autobiography. It really makes you appreciate him as a man much more. You know, some of them you read and you're like, ooh. But this was definitely one that you respected him and liked him.
Yeah.
And Gretzky is another one to
Good.
completely switch sports.
Yeah.
Another autobiography that you're just like, I like the guy.
Who knew you read
Yeah.
baseball?
Reads books.
All kinds of things. I don't know. So shortstop. To me, that's always been a scary position because it looks like you're just right there in the line of fire. So it was a fan question that led me up to this. Did you ever get beamed by a ball?
I mean, not at shortstop. We did it at the plate a number of times.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, it's fun. Shortstop is a position that's, I mean, it's kind of out there. Maybe the quarterback, you know, that's kind of also the, maybe somebody could argue the catcher, but there's a lot of action. I really love playing it I played 3 years, started for 3 years at shortstop and 1 year at second base, but you know, shortstop's a fun position. You get to be involved in a lot of different things.
Yeah,
so,
I bet. We had a huge number of pictures that were in our book, and that was something we wondered when we were going through it, and somebody brought up that Nebraska is a very good system for pitchers, and that's why we got so many of them. Can you speak a little bit to that? Is that true?
I mean, as far as involved with the book?
Yeah.
Well,
So
maybe it's because, see, pitchers, they only play like once every 5 days, so they must have had plenty of free time. Yeah, they had plenty of free time to show up and help out with the show. No, I mean, I think the coaching staff at Nebraska has done a wonderful job, and you know, pitching is a big part of what they could use a little bit right now, more of as well, and so they're fortunate to kind of be able to go through that and have good coaches.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about your recipe. When I got your pictures, it was really one of my favorites because
so cute.
the kids really got involved. You have 3 kids, correct?
Yes.
Tell us their ages and names.
I have Max, who's a 13-year-old 7th grader. I have Fletcher, who is a 6th grader. And then I got Piper, our daughter, who's in 2nd grade. And so they thought it was hilarious that I was going to be a part of this. And so they wanted to be a part of it, and we had a good time doing it. So it was pretty fun. So.
You know, it was obvious you guys had a good time. And that's the one comment I've heard a lot about this book. People have flipped through it and said, these guys just had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I love that. That's really one of the things we wanted to do with the book is bring families together. A lot of guys with their moms in this book because a lot of the young guys who are coming up through the system. So they have mom in the picture with them. It was just, you know, they had a good time, and that's really what we wanted. So, but yours definitely was one of my favorites. And Darin did great. He sent us a lot of pictures to choose from. I had to pick the funniest to put in there.
That's okay.
So make sure you take a look at Darin's. I'm sure we have the picture up too to show how much fun that they had in the kitchen. So.
Well, and it kind of goes along with why we're doing this show. One of the reasons is we want not only the ladies to be involved in the kitchens, but men and children as well. So this show, we really like to focus on the guys doing the work in the kitchen, that they're actually doing the whole dish and putting it all together. And so when we see pictures like that and see the kids with the thumbs up, you know that they've had a great time.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you have a story behind this recipe. We always like to hear those. Can you tell us a bit about Pete's Poppy Seed Chicken?
Well, we didn't really come up with a name until we had to. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's, but it has been a dish that we make about every celebration, particularly my birthday. It's one of my favorites. But it did start when my wife and I first got married, which was 98, I believe. So,
hope so,
yeah,
huh?
no, I think that was right. But you know, she was, she was making a number of various things, she one time made tuna casserole, and we didn't figure out until we were done eating that there was no tuna in it.
Whoops.
So we knew that that wasn't going to be a family favorite. She made this one a couple times, and it just kind of became our favorite, or my favorite, and so it's, and our kids now too, because it's, like you said, this show is in the kitchen. A lot of our communication and our family time is in our kitchen and our family table right next to that, and so we had to come up with it, and it became Pete's Poppy Seed Chicken, and so maybe it's probably it'll stick a little bit more now.
I'll tell you an embarrassing story. When I got it, I looked at Brittany, who put together our book, and I said, "Well, this is great, but who's Pete?"
Yeah.
And she kind of
Well,
looked at
don't
me,
feel
she's
bad.
like,
Don't feel bad. There was a gentleman on our when I was a freshman at Nebraska, who at the end of the season, somebody said Pete Petersen, Darin Petersen, and he said, "Who's Darin Petersen?" And he thought my name was Pete for like the whole year. So don't feel bad.
So
Don't feel bad.
That's good.
Yeah, nickname.
Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I really want to know who Pete
Okay,
was.
that's right. No, that's fair enough. Fair enough.
was great.
Referring to myself in the third person.
Okay,
there we
perfect.
go.
Yeah, we
Yes,
figured
yes.
it out, and I felt a little
Pete's
foolish.
chicken.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, let's talk more about this chicken, Sherry. I'm excited.
Well, it was a real easy dish to put together. A few ingredients: cream of mushroom soup,
Perfect ingredients.
stick of butter, some sour cream, and everyone's favorite, crackers, crushed crackers. You couldn't get any simpler than that. And then the base of the recipe is, of course, chicken. And so you bake off the chicken first, and you just mix these two ingredients together, and then you mix those two together, and you put it in a casserole.
Yes.
I don't know that it could be any easier than
Well,
that.
you know what? With all the activities that our kids are involved with, it pretty much has to be easy to get accomplished. Otherwise, it's going to be drive-through or something like
Does
that.
the
maybe.
poppy
So,
seeds come in at the end, or do these get mixed
Oh,
in?
I guess I did.
I would-
They
I
actually
would think
get
they're in there.
mixed in with the sour cream.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't
Yeah.
bring them. I don't know.
You lost the poppy seed
I
from
did.
the
Poppy
poppy
seed
seed chicken.
I
It's
did.
like
It's
it's like
like
the
a
tuna
tuna.
from the tuna casserole. We're totally good. We're all right.
Okay, we'll put a photo of them in there
Okay, that works.
as we run. Well, when I was doing this recipe, I always like to figure out a way to make it easier, quicker, or involve the family a little bit more. And one of the ways that you can do that is by using a kitchen shears instead of a knife to cut up the chicken.
Okay.
And have you ever done that?
No,
It's
but,
super, super simple to do. I'm going to show you kind of a little bit how to do it, and then we'll have you do it just so
Excellent.
you can learn how.
Yes.
But it's perfect if you have kids in the kitchen and you don't want to get a sharp knife out for them to use, or have to be watching over
That thing
them.
looks like
Yeah,
you could take
yeah,
off a
that's a-
digit.
Well, and the thing is, they are really sharp, and I suppose as long as the children don't go after each other with it, we're probably fairly
children will do.
safe. But they're pretty easy to do. I'm going to wipe my hands real quickly, and I'll let you do that too, Darin,
Yeah.
and we will go ahead and clean off. But the reason I like a kitchen shears is because you can make quick work of something. And like this, it's super, super simple. So basically, you grab the chicken, pick it up, and just cut through it. And this said cube chicken, so you don't really need to be perfect, so you just cut right through it easily like that.
All right.
Yeah.
You could get it as big or as little as you want. And so you can see how it'd be real easy for, a little guy to just go ahead and grab hold.
Are you
And
calling
so
Darin a little guy?
No,
I
she's
meant-
talking about my kids.
I'm
Wow,
talking about-
that's actually really
Isn't it
easy. I
nice?
thought it was going to be kind of hard.
yeah,
but
like Piper is a
yes.
second grader.
Yes.
You could let Piper do this.
and she
would-
loves to help.
Yeah,
too,
and she
so.
wouldn't have any trouble with holding a scissors. She does it probably in school. You just cut them up in small bite-sized pieces. But like I said in the intro, there are so many more ways to use a kitchen shears. People think they're just in the knife kit or the knife case so that you can open up bags that are hard
Right.
to open.
So am I doing that okay?
You are doing
I mean,
it
I don't-
perfect. Look
it's
at
just,
you. That's
okay.
Now, are they different? Like if you go into a Bed Bath & Beyond or wherever you're going?
Well, these are from this is from Pampered
Right.
Chef, and they are, I think, a little bit sharper, and I
more
think
high quality.
a little more high
You're not
quality.
going to want to get a $2
Yeah.
scissors and try and do this.
Tourette.
So the scissors out of our drawer.
Correct?
Correct.
Yes, yes.
Correct. I want to say
Don't
correct.
use the scissors out of your drawer.
Okay, I just
But yeah, Teresa Brown, our Pampered Chef consultant, is the one who suggested this for this recipe.
Yeah.
We always send the recipe to her and say, how can we make this simpler? And she said, use the shears on it. That'll make it so much easier. But we can also take this shears, and one of the things that I really like to use it for is cutting up just onions, because you get these little tips on them. And again, you can take these in the kitchen, and this is something you can have one of the kids do, because you can just easily cut off the tops, bottoms, and snip them up.
Are you less likely to cut your fingers? With this, or
yes,
not?
as long as
Maybe?
you keep your
Yeah.
fingers out,
Okay.
Don't go too quick.
out of the way. But you see how easy that was.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah,
also
it's
use
got all
it.
kinds of stuff.
You can use it to chop up your parsley or any of your herbs in the kitchen. And again, it's just super simple. You just cut away at it. Pretty easy.
Oh, I want a pair.
Yeah, aren't they nice?
If you can't find those after the show.
Oh, after the
Yes.
show, they're going home with Darin.
Oh,
This is-
perfect.
Teresa,
my going away gift, right?
Teresa
Right.
is giving these to him to use. But probably my very,
It's like the Price is Right.
very
It is.
favorite, very favorite use
There's the
for
raw
them
meat.
Uh-oh.
is the raw meat. Okay, I love wings, but I really hate this part, don't
Okay.
you? And kitchen shears are great for raw meats. Say you have a steak that has those big, thick globs of fat on the end. A kitchen shears is perfect for that, to just cut that off.
Yeah.
And sometimes with a knife, it's a little hard to do. But
That's not going to go through that, is it?
Do you want to make a wager? Side wager,
You've
$1.
seen it? Okay.
look at that. Look at that. Cut
Okay.
right through there.
Now, if you're cutting up raw meat with these, do you run it through the dishwasher? Do you hand
would.
wash?
And these are dishwasher safe. So
Okay.
yes, you would
It
definitely.
doesn't dull them
No,
like you would a nice knife.
Nope.
You
And that's
never
the-
put a nice knife in the dishwasher,
Right.
correct?
I'm gonna have Darin do this. Are you
Okay,
afraid?
yeah.
Are you afraid of it?
No, I'm good. I can use scissors.
You can use
right?
scissors. You just pull, just between that little knuckle, that little
All
joint
right, we're
there.
going to go like this, right?
Right in there.
Does that work?
Yep. Perfect. You
Yeah.
cut right through it. Is that amazing?
Yeah,
Doubting.
it's pretty good.
But
Yeah. Super simple. And actually, a little more time.
Got anything else I can like cut up? Like
I
this,
have
or-
more. Here. We have more.
Oh, one more.
Do one more. Because look at that. You cut
Nice.
right through the bones there. Easy to do.
All right.
So you can use a kitchen shears for lots of things.
Okay.
But one more thing you can use it for, and
Ooh, we're
I
on a roll.
was going to bring one, but with the raw meat after this, I thought, maybe
is it a
not.
live animal?
No, actually, you can use it to cut up pizza.
Oh.
A lot of times when you use a pizza wheel,
Yeah,
the ends
doesn't
don't
get
get
the-
cut through.
Yeah.
So at the end, you can either cut through it just with your scissors,
You know what
or
always
you can-
happens to me is the lasagna, is the pepperoni. They don't cut through. They like flop.
Exactly.
So that
So
would be
if you
perfect.
use a kitchen shears, and especially on those little individual pizzas, where
Mm-hmm.
maybe you only want to do little 4 pieces, you whack right through that really quickly. So there are some tips for using a kitchen shears. I think everybody should have a pair
Absolutely.
and keep them close at hand and throw them in the dishwasher.
And if an intruder comes in,
Well,
got that.
yes, I don't know that that's probably what
would the big
we're
knife be better for that?
going to want to do. But it's just a great little tool, a little piece of equipment to have, and I'm so happy that we can send it home with you today.
Excellent.
And so you can take that, share that with your
Good.
wife.
The
or share it
kids
with
will be happy.
Piper, or
Yes,
share it with-
absolutely.
with the boys at home.
They might fight over it.
Yeah.
Have different nights for them.
So
Tuesday
Okay, we do
night.
have to share things.
Yeah.
So.
you do.
Yeah.
So Angela, now that we've heard about raw chicken and raw meat,
Uh-huh.
let's talk about something to drink.
That would be awesome. And I see why we're doing this after we're handling what could be a
Yes.
very dangerous piece of equipment.
Yes,
So
it's true.
recommend
It's
that you
true.
don't try the drink of the week till after you've cut up everything you need to cut up in the kitchen. I can see that being a bad
Wash
combo.
up, wash up.
So what we have today is the North Star, and no gin in this one. So we're going
Which is
off
good.
the reservation because we've had
Yes.
gin for a while,
Right.
which I'm not a big gin fan, but I really liked the gin recipes that we had.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't have minded another one, but this one's got good old cherry vodka in it. So what I've already put in this North Star, which of course is from our friends at Salt Restaurant that always give us the wonderful craft cocktail recipes. We've got, it's not in here, that's the ice. Here we go.
That's
Okay, we've got our cherry vodka, which is why you are seeing the pink color. We've got cranberry juice, also adding to the pink color, fresh lemon juice, and simple syrup. So we're mixing all that together. Want to pour some ice in there for me?
absolutely. How much?
I'm going to do about half.
All right.
Maybe just a little bit so I can stir it up, and then I'm going to put the rest in the
that
glasses.
might be half.
That works. That's the reason I have you
Pretty
do
good.
it.
Usually our guests get it on the floor, and I
Hey,
think you
I
have
kept it on the
have-
table.
You
That's
kept it right on the
right.
table.
Yes.
Right on the table.
And then we're going to put a little bit more in here. This may not be exactly how they do it over there at Salt, which is why you should really get this served to you by their wonderful staff and not try and make it at home. But we're going to mix that up. You could shake it if you wanted to, but this one we're just going to mix with a spoon. And then we're going to pour it into the glasses. These are very icy.
Oh, they'll be nice and
This
cool.
is going to be a wonderful summer drink.
It's a patio
But
drink.
we are not done yet.
We're not done.
So we are not done yet. We are topping with champagne. All right, so we're going to do a little top.
fancy
Yes, it is.
special drink.
I think this would be a great celebration drink.
Yes.
I'm not a huge fan of champagne because it gives me awful headaches, but
Well, if you drank less.
well, that's no
More.
fun.
Yeah.
Come on. So we do that, and then of course we're going to garnish with a bit of lemon, and I'm going to drop it right in unless anybody is opposed to lemon.
That's fine. That's
Because you see it over
This is all
here, and
making
it's
me kinda
pretty,
thirsty,
but it's
and
like, how do you
you
ever taste it? So we're just
Yeah.
dropping it right in. All right. So this is the North Star. I didn't find out why it's called this. We're going to have to find out because I'm curious. But the most important thing is how it tastes.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's give it a try.
Well, good.
Cheers. Thank
Well,
you for
yeah,
coming
cheers.
on our
Yes.
show.
Thanks for having me.
Wow.
That just tastes, it's
This
tart.
is really good. Can I take this home with me?
We have to drink it before we go.
Exactly.
Can I have a
Very
pour?
good. We always have such a great drink
That
recipes. I mean, these are just fun. They're different. If you have
delicious.
guests over, you know, to be
is
able to whip up
delicious.
something like this is so much better than here's your beer, here's your rum and Coke.
Yeah.
You know, you look like you know what
Have you
you're
been to
doing.
my house?
I've been to most people's
Okay.
houses. That's what
Fair
most
enough.
people are like. But what do you guys normally have to drink with this? Obviously, you got kids. So do you milk?
Did you say beer
pop?
and rum and Coke?
Is that what you
No,
normally have with
sometimes,
it?
Sometimes,
Or, you
no.
know, for-
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Actually, yeah, no fancy drinks. We're pretty much a water and milk household.
You
so,
know, but
yeah.
that's what something like this is a great.
Yeah.
You know, since you're not normally doing stuff like this, once in a while, that anniversary that we're not
Oh,
going to
yeah.
ask you the
I-
day of.
yes,
Yes.
yes,
Or
No.
years.
You know,
Yes,
something like that,
yeah,
just to
yeah.
do something fun. And this is also something with the kids, you know, that you could do a virgin style of it, so they feel like they're
That'd
in
be
on
good,
it.
yeah,
You know, with
yeah.
just some cranberry juice, maybe some sparkling water, drop a lemon in there. They feel like they're in on
They're
the party.
right. They're right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's why I love
Good.
these types of drinks.
Okay.
So
Well, I
we
passed
got it.
out a little bit of food for us, so you
Yes.
can test the deliciousness of
Is it
this
okay
recipe.
there?
Yes. Oh, I think it's very, very good.
Oh my goodness.
It made my house smell so
It
wonderful.
does, yes. Yep.
Yeah. At the buttery crackers on the top and a little bit of crunch is so good.
Oh, that is
Really,
so good.
really like it.
One of our kids does like to take all the crackers.
That would
Just,
totally be
right?
me.
Okay.
I
yeah.
would just be hoarding them. That is so good.
yeah.
Now, before I forget, Big Red Recipes Baseball Edition, as is the Football Edition, is a fundraising project. And each of the guys gets to select a charity that is near and dear to their hearts. Tell us a little bit about who you selected and why.
We actually selected the Special Olympics, Nebraska. It's an organization that essentially helps about 5,000 people in the state of Nebraska through essentially 3 areas: sports, which is most of us will think of Special Olympics at, and then health as well as education. And so we picked that organization. We have a niece that's just getting involved with that. And so athletes can kind of start that when they're about 8 years old.
Okay.
And so she's getting started in that, and I'm a big believer in youth sports just in general. And so it's an organization that promotes a lot of the things that our family believes in: being active, being encouraging, and being involved.
Yep.
So,
Well, it's wonderful. Great
Yeah.
organization. Very happy to promote it.
Yeah.
And a nice correlation. He said you
Yeah.
coach
yeah,
your
coach
kids.
lots of sports.
Yeah. So it's
yeah.
just a nice fit.
It is. Yep. So.
It's one of the ones that's very well run and well organized too.
Yeah.
So.
And it's actually a year-round program. I mean, a lot of people think of it as a once-a-year type of deal, but they actually have events throughout the year. And so, again.
Did I do anything special when the like the Summer Olympics or
Yeah.
this summer? Did they do
Correct.
anything?
Yeah, so they have like a national, I believe, every 4 years, just like the other ones. And I don't know if it's the same years or not, but it's ongoing. And like I said, whether your kids are involved in youth sports or the Special Olympics, it's just it's a way for people to be involved and learn all the great things that we can learn from sports. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And from those who are challenged.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
in a different way than, I mean, we take for
Yeah.
granted,
Yeah.
the things that we are able to do, and we see these young people rise above
Yeah.
and just do such amazing
I think sometimes the
things.
volunteers get more out of it too.
Yeah.
Than we all, that people get. And so, no, it's great programs.
It is very true, very true.
Well, definitely want to encourage you to go to bigredrecipes.com. We have got lots of great information on the first football book and now our baseball book, so you can
Yes.
see everyone who's involved. You can buy the book online. We also have it at a number of retailers. So make sure that you go to bigredrecipes.com to learn more. Follow us on social media. We're always having great events, promotions, getting people involved not only in cooking and sports, but bringing the two together. So bigredrecipes.com, go check it out.
Very cool.
Great.
I can't wait. I have not seen the book yet. It's so new. That
It is
even-
new.
Right
I haven't
there.
seen it yet, so you're going to happy to see it. Yes.
Yeah. You were
It is
hiding
Yes.
very, very new. So
I could smell the
it's
ink. I could
it's
smell
like
the
my
ink.
new baby. Carry it
A
around.
lot of fun. So,
Yep.
I'm very proud of you for getting it published and getting it done on time. Yay!
Yay, we had our deadline.
It was awesome. Well, I'm so glad that you were able to stop in and join us
Yes,
today.
yes.
What a pleasure to meet you and to find out about your career and where you've been and what you've done with your life after baseball. Life goes on. Life goes
Accountant,
on.
right?
An accountant.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is why it's taken him this long to be on the
It
show.
did. We had to wait till after April 15th.
After tax season.
Yes.
After
So,
tax season.
yeah.
Well, you know what? I want to thank you again for
Yes,
being on
thank
the
you.
show and
Thank
for
you.
playing along with us today. I want to
Yeah.
thank the amazing crew out there who makes this show possible. And I just want to say God bless everyone, and we'll see you again next week on the Big Red Kitchen Show. Thanks so much, and let's have a little bit
Yes,
more.
I'm gonna have a little
more.
more.
Yeah, a
Yes.
little more of this.
The Big Red Kitchen Show was brought to you by Salt Restaurant, Wren's Display, the Pampered Chef products provided by Teresa Brown, Sea of Red Wine, DeFord Family Dental, Dr. Kathy DeFord, Rotella's Bakery, Just Good Meats, Quality Mark Home Repair and Remodeling, Waddell and Reed Financial Advisors, East Bark Media, D. Tendenza Food Styling and Photography,